Welcome to the podcast, or the Most of the Time cast, as now it's rebranded. Well, this is new, this is different, this is the most bootleg thing you'll ever see, but the greatest thing you will ever see, simply because this is how I record all my videos and how I stream on Twitch. I have a camera here, I have a mic that sits on my kid's stool over there, and I have a tripod over there. Wow. So we're here. We're doing a podcast today. How many of these am I going to keep up with? I don't know. Hopefully it sound nice and clear. What we can do is, as well, we can refer to the old TV. If we want to watch something together, we can watch something together. But I can react to it and give you my thoughts on it. But what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to search for myself. Look at that. My keys box behind me and everything. Oh, look. The Kyle multiverse. Wow, this is interesting. Kyle, shut up, will you? Shut up. You're on the telly as well. Right, let's have a little look at me notes. What we're going to talk about today. So, the intro. So, why am I doing this podcast? It's simply because I want to talk. I want a different dimension as well. I don't just want to be the Street Fighter guy. I don't want to be the guy who's bad at Rainbow Six. I want to be able to, talk as well, and possibly talk about things live with people. What's going on now? What is happening? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I would like to talk about. A lot of topics I want to talk about. If anyone ever joins in the chat, I'm not saying they ever will, but if they do, they can get in on the chat. You can see it pop up. You can see it. I can see it live on the side. I can react to it. We can talk together. Yeah, let's get it moving. Let's get it going. I don't think anyone's ever done a podcast like this, so it's interesting. Yeah, so it's gonna be cool. I'm using my son's Amazon Fire tablet as my notes for the podcast because it's completely botched and it's brilliant. So this is the way to do it, innit? My phone could possibly die at any minute. So whatever we're up to on the podcast, that's where we're up to, and that's where it finishes. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. Well, let's get into it anyway. Why I'm doing the podcast is it's a simple explanation, really. Like I said, then I want to be able to talk. I want to be able to use my voice for as many people who can understand me. Anyway, I've even bought a little microphone so you can hear me a little bit easier and a little bit better as well. Also, I've got a lot of things on my mind, and the way I channel things differently than others is by talking. So, for instance, when I feel low or down or whatever, I like to talk. And if I'm happy, if I find something interesting, and I want to be able to spread the word, kind of thing. I'm one of them guys who tries to show people a section of the podcast. who or like they want to show someone like a video or something. I like to spread joy, and I just want to talk to people about certain things and topics that you might find interesting. So that's why I'm doing it anyway. And it does sound kind of lame. How often am I going to do it? I don't know. If it works out and people like it, then I'll continue to do it. You know, I did I did the podcast during lockdown, the Sandcastle podcast, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, mates actually enjoyed it as well. They give them something to watch over lockdown, and it was quite funny. Some of the stuff I was talking about, I was just being daft. Talking about how crazy the vaccine is, and during lockdown I was still working and everywhere was shut, and how time moves so quick now. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre because I remember when lockdown first happened and everyone everyone got told to stay indoors and we all listened and we all thought that was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Everyone thought, oh, we best do what everyone says and we best stay indoors and 15-meter distance and we're only allowed out for 45 minutes a day for exercise or whatever it was. It was a crazy time. I kind of liked it. I'm not. I'm so antisocial that I actually enjoyed lockdown. I stayed in work as well, so it didn't really affect me. Obviously, I feel sorry for the people it did affect, but for me, I actually enjoyed it. I actually thought it was fun. The first one, anyway, first lockdown was great because everywhere was shut. We had to wait in a queue to get into Asda to go shopping for 50 minutes, which was great. But the second one ruined it. Part two, never as good as the first one. Part two, we had to, I had to work through it. I was letting people in the building where I worked. I had to actually do stuff during work. Ugh, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, let's not talk about COVID and stuff like that. Get me banned from the chat. Where have we gone? Get me back in. There it is. Yeah, get me fucking banned off Twitch straight away talking about the vid. You know what I'm saying? We can't be doing that. But yeah, one thing that I found really interesting lately is the streaming versus YouTube kind of controversy and the the background of what is going on at the minute between streaming and YouTube, and is YouTube now becoming second fiddle to long form 8 hour streams? You know what I'm saying? People now either like to consume their information in bite-sized 15-second clips, or they like to watch a 7 hour stream, 8 hour stream, and it's completely different now. The landscape. I remember when YouTube was first a thing, and you could only upload 10-minute videos, and there was no Vine back then. There was no TikTok back then, but there was YouTube, which it brings. It really does make you think that us as a society now, we've got access to information so quick, so easy, that our attention spans have either gone it's gone completely down the drain. So people like a stream on in the background because you can leave it on there while you're fiddling on your phone, or you can listen to them as you're doing other things and stuff like that. You're not actually watching the content. You're actually just every now and again you'll flick back to it. But with like the likes of TikTok, everyone calls it TikTok brain. Everyone now has TikTok brain. You need to get as much information as you can in a short video, or people aren't going to watch it. Just look what YouTube did. They brought out YouTube Shorts to try and compete with the likes of TikTok and Instagram Reels, just because it's so easy and accessible now. And for instance, I'm going to grab some of these sound bites and put them on Shorts and put them on, TikTok and stuff like that. But that's how people take in their information these days. Like if you look on TikTok now and search news, most of the news sources that people get now are from like a minute long video on TikTok. No longer do people watch ITV News and BBC News and stuff like that, and whatever news source you like to get your news from. No, people don't watch that anymore. That's the wayside. That's completely gone. That's disappeared. No longer do people watch like people standing at the back of a green screen pointing at the weather. People don't like that. People want to get their news nice, quick, and from an unbiased source. And I think this is where streaming is becoming so big now, because people's personalities are shining through. People's personalities now are so real, and they have. If you can keep up an act for 8 hours straight streaming, then you deserve an Oscar. Because when you see people, the likes of Kai Cenat, just done a 50-hour stream, which is ridiculous, and somehow he can make that whole 50 hours so entertaining. He's not saying as well, you have to sit in there and watch the whole 50-hour stream. You can go and do other things, come back later, pop back in, pop in and out as you please, and he'll still be there. It's insane what these streamers are doing, and you've got to give props to them. People say streaming is easy and stuff like that. I watched Hassan talk about this the other day, where he was trying to say that streaming's hard and loads of manual labour jobs, which is not true, because all you're doing is sitting there, you're talking to a camera, you're playing games, you're doing anything. But I do believe streaming does take a lot of hard work and grind, especially if you want to get big on streaming. Yeah, of course, it takes a lot of work. You need to be able to record, stream at the same time, upload stuff everywhere, keep your socials going at all times, keep up persona for so long. Like, how hard would it be to keep up a persona for like a 8 hour stream every single day? For instance, the likes of Jinxie, he streams now. He's a part timer. He streams about 2 hours a day. But every now and again he'll do 6 hours a day. But the way he acts is him, and you can't take that past that. You can't look past that. The way he acts is him, and people come back for the personality. People come back because they want to be. They want to be able to relate. They want to be able to get to know the person. Because if you look at YouTubers now, how the scape of a normal YouTube video, people are so disingenuous with themselves, and they're so unattached from the world that it's not it seems so fake. It doesn't seem real. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't seem real. It seems nothing seems legit, and you can't. I believe anyway. I believe that people want to come back and watch you for your personality. Yeah, you could be amazing at a game. Like Jinxie's really good at Rainbow Six. You know what I mean? But Queso, besides weighing the same amount as the sun, his personality is amazing. He doesn't play any good games really. He'll play games off the cuff that he's found on the fly, and he'll make them entertaining. And people come back every single day. Just look at Sketch. Look at Sketch now. We have a guy who has created this character where everyone thought at first that that's what he was like. He was some young man who's a little bit acoustic, and he what's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? He, like, people love his taglines, and people love watching him and stuff like that. And I get it. I think he's hilarious, and what he's done to create this little brand of his is amazing. But people don't come there to watch him play Madden. People couldn't give a shit about the game. The game is literally the background for him. And what he's done is, quite frankly, amazing. And he deserves all the respect and all the good fortunes that's coming Sketch's way. He deserves. He's come up with a gimmick which works brilliantly, and the public have ate it up. Just look at how just look how mainstream he's gone. Just look how mainstream he's gone. If you look at Sketch now, people in American football games and basketball games especially are scoring points and buckets, and they're, and they're doing the "what's up, brother?" You know what I mean? That he's made it to a point now where he's mainstream and he's killed it. And listen, he's the man. People can have a look at this, and people will write this down in textbooks one day from a guy that used to sit there and play Madden to this personality he's come up with, and how successful he is going to be. I'm telling you now, Sketch will be huge, whether it's in the streaming space, whether it's in a different space altogether, whether it's long form content or short form. Sketch is going to smash it. Those three in their little universe, Jinxie, Queso, and Sketch, have come up with their own brand, their own style, and their very own personalities, and every one of them is so different, but they gel together so nicely. If you watch the IRL streams that Jinxie and Sketch did, they were brilliant. Both of their personalities complement each other so well, and the kind of they bounce off each other really well. Same with Queso and Jinxie. I'm waiting for the day we get a Sketch, Queso, and Jinxie stream all together, which I'm looking forward to. So it's the landscape of streaming is really in a positive place, and I think the landscape of YouTube at the minute is playing catch up. I think that it tried to get into the streaming space, and it tries to get into the short form content space, and I think it's failed at both. I really do. I think that there was a brilliant opportunity for them to be involved in this space somehow, and I think they're fumbling the ball. I think that they need to come up with a better idea for newer streamers and the short form content. I think, especially streaming, because they've signed Tim the Tatman and they've signed Dr. Disrespect. Again, two amazing streamers whose personalities are just so good, and they fit streaming so well. They fit short form and long form content, even when they clip farm, like they all do. Their clips are brilliant. But for the new streamer, YouTube isn't the one. YouTube doesn't have that capability Twitch has right now, I think, where you can search for what you want, or there's categories on what you want, and you can look for, if you like, for instance, I like watching streamers who have hardly any views but who are trying to get up there. I know you can watch all the big ones, which is great, but every now and again, if there's a game I like to watch or a game I like to play, I'll have a look at a streamer who's got a couple of views, like 5-10 views here and that, and just see what his personality is like, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy someone on the come up, and I want to be the guy who's like, I found that guy first. But yeah, it's an interesting and weird space right now, and I think that it's only going to get more interesting. Who do I think is going to come out on top between Twitch and YouTube? I personally think that YouTube and Twitch are always going to be separate entities. No matter what, no matter how, both of them will try and compete with each other in similar ways. They'll be so different and be used in so different ways. So I don't think YouTube and Twitch will always be there, but they'll never be in competition with each other. Like Kick's a whole different fucking world. It's full of absolute idiot IRL streamers. I think what Aiden Ross has tried to do is brilliant. I think that he's tried to compete in the streaming space with giants, and I think that he's doing really well, but he's just gone about it slightly wrong for me. If I was him, I would have went for the big signings of some well-known streamers to get on there. You know what I mean? Even if it was like, a controversial figure. Like, do you know the way some of the controversial figures went to Rumble on that platform, which is awful? Maybe Kick should have tried to sign a couple of them, or a couple of streamers who are on YouTube or Twitch who need that extra push and are really close to being that big thing. Maybe if Kick signed them on there, Kick would be, in a better spot, because if you look at their streamers now, Neon, I think he's just got banned, but Neon was on there. You'd have that Jack guy who's an absolute idiot, and I think there's a couple of others as well who IRL stream. Maybe it's like that Modine and stuff like that, and then there's HS Tiki Toki or whatever his name is. Like, all of them are on Kick, and that's why it's failing. That's why it's on its arse. It's not a good platform. The platform needs a whole revamp, and it needs a new business idea. Here's me saying it needs a new business idea. I'm like fucking so much in debt right now. I'm in no position to give anyone business advice, but I do know the online world, and that's what I believe anyway. 2 years later, I'll be on Kick, pranking people in Asda. Ugh. One thing I wanted to talk about anyway, which was a big thing for me, which just happened like yesterday. It might not be big for some people, and people might not understand, but Street Fighter 6 has been the game which has brought me back into Street Fighter again. Everyone knows how much I love Street Fighter 4 and how many hours I put into it and how much I played it, but I was never that good. I was never really up competing. I was always in like that middle tier of people try try your best but you don't succeed. I was always in that category. But in Street Fighter 6, I've managed to get myself in the top 2% in the world and get myself to master rank, which is insane. So what does that mean? That means now I'll be playing against some of the best players in the world. I can probably join some tournaments, which are master rank only online. In general, it means that I've put time and effort into learning the game. And, I started off in this game really poorly. I had characters like in the lower ranks. I was getting beat by absolutely fucking nobodies. But now I'm at a point where I think that I'm doing well, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Something's clicked since I've started grinding my streams and since I've started getting involved in like all this, and especially my Street Fighter game, it hasn't half improved. The Rainbow Six game is a little bit different, but Street Fighter, I've come a long way, and I can't say that I've been in this position before where I feel confident playing the game. Like I've always gone into a game, especially Street Fighter, even Gears of War back in the day, where I'm just not as good as the rest of them, and I can't really compete. But now I'm so confident in my ability in Street Fighter 6, I think I can give a match to pretty much anyone I feel like it on the day. I know that sounds me being fucking cocky and stuff, but that master rank has given me an extra ego boost. And it's been a grind, man, especially with Honda, because when I first started playing, I was in gold because I was playing on a pad and I couldn't quite get my head around the game properly, and I was losing against really shit players. So I've had to grind so long for the last three phases, and yeah, Master Rank is here, and I will be doing some Master Rank streams as well. I'm not going to be one of them guys who sits on his 1500 MR and it's just like, I'm not moving out of this, and I'm quite content here. But I do want to join some Master Rank lobbies, which will be interesting. But I will be doing that Master Rank grind set as well, which is going to be fun, frustrating, and really sad as well, because there's going to be such a big jump compared to what I was playing. So that'll be interesting. One of the things as well, while we're talking about the games and stuff like that, is YouTubers at the minute versus actual gamers, which is it's a bit of a sore point for me at the minute, because I've been watching like the Sidemen for years, and I've been watching people like that for years. And every now and again, I'll watch their reacts, or I'll watch like a podcast clip where they're talking about gaming and stuff, and they always mention that gaming's gone downhill or it's faded, which isn't true. They mention that gaming's on its arse, and it's in a bad place. What they do is they only see gaming as FIFA, Fortnite, and Call of Duty. That's what they do. They see gaming as them three games. You don't see how good Elden Ring's done, Baldur's Gate 3. You don't look at the classics. For instance, Pete, my friend P-Dog, his favourite game, Half-Life 2, what still gets played today and streamed on Twitch. And there's been so many variations of it. If you look at like Ghost of Tsushima, games that have broken ground, single player, amazing story games, God of War, The Last of Us, the list continues. Gaming for these though, these certain YouTubers is FIFA, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. The games that get pumped out every single like couple of years or a year, and for instance, in Fortnite's case, just bring out a new season whenever they want, and they call it like season 17, yeah, fucking 7 or whatever they want to call it. But it's not gaming is in such a good place where you've got the PS5 banging it, obviously Steam's banging it, you've got the Xbox X, which hasn't done well sales wise, but it's done well in the sense of the games it's brought out for Game Pass is fucking tremendous. For instance, Diablo 4 has just come out. I know that game has been slated, but that's a massive popular game. And the acquisition by Xbox to buy Bethesda and stuff like that is fucking huge. People don't get how big that is in the gaming space. I need a quick drink from my son's drink. Whew. I haven't talked this long for a while. Oh, had to wet the lips. Whoosh. But no, gaming's in a great space. And people should recognise that. Gaming is in such a good spec. I think in the future as well, gaming only looks good. I don't think VR is going to be a thing in gaming eventually. I do like VR. I do enjoy some of VR. But I think that it's so limited on what it can do. Like if you look at horror games, all horror games are the same on it. So it's like it's a dungeon crawler-esque game where you go through a house or a creepy atmosphere, and it's all in front of you. Everything comes here. There's nothing coming from behind because you can't really turn in VR, and some people play sitting on a couch, for instance. So everything has to come from this direction. So it's less scary. Obviously, the environment and other things come into play a lot, but it's not. It has so much potential, but it's wow. It has so much potential, but it's not quite hitting the mark. VR gaming. I noticed anyway when I had my PlayStation VR that it had some really good games. Like for instance, Resident Evil 7 in VR was one of the best VR games you could get. And then they tried to bring out Doom, which is such a fast-paced, moving game, and in VR it was so slow. You had to kind of jump where you wanted to be, and then kill the enemies around you. Jump where you wanted to be, kill the enemies around you, and it didn't really get me like that. But you know, but gaming, man, and again, these YouTubers that say gaming's in a bad space just don't have a clue. They see their own little circle and be like, "Oh, this is what gaming's actually like," but it's not. Gaming is in such a good spot right now. I'm looking forward to that Tekken 7 patch as well, because Jesus Christ, that game, it's a bit of a mess at the minute. It's a bit of a mess. All it is whoever gets the first poker eventually wins. So it's like plus frame, plus frame, plus frame, low, plus frame, low, 50-50, get a bound to the court, get a bound to the wall, and finish your opponent. The neutral of that game is totally off at the minute, so hopefully they can fix that. But Tekken's a brilliant game, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how the patch goes. But I'll tell you one thing, which has been a controversial topic of what people are talking about anyway recently. Esports and gaming, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Esports, my personal opinion is I think esports has been a good thing in the sense of it's brought in a whole new audience of people who never really went into gaming into competitive gaming. And that's brilliant. For instance, the fighting game scene would not be the same if there wasn't an esports. I remember Street Fighter tournaments back in the day where they were so ghetto, where it was like you'd win a Twix chocolate bar and a fucking milkshake from the corner shop if you won. But now it's like $1 million, $5 million, and this is for fighting games. This is for Street Fighter. It's not like League of Legends or CS:GO or Rainbow Six. Like it's it's brilliant in that aspect. The competitive nature is amazing, and it makes everyone build up together to be better. I love that. But on the turn side of that, you've got basically every online game now, which is remotely competitive, is such a sweat fest that it's hard to enjoy. Like I find it now physically hard to enjoy a game where I just want to play and relax online and have a little bit of online gaming. For instance, I'll go back to it, Rainbow Six Siege. The Rainbow Six Siege now has become a game where every single game you play is a sweat. Every single game. P-Dog baby. So we were talking about esports and gaming, um, which is something like I wanted to talk about a while ago. With you especially, I wanted to know your thoughts on it. So, as I was saying then, with Rainbow Six Siege, you can't just sit down and relax now. So the casual gamer is now falling to the wayside, where there's no space for them. There's no space for them in online gaming anymore. Every single game's got to be highest level, competitive. You've got to learn the maps inside out, the guns inside out, the operators inside out. Every little bit now is so competitive. It's no longer just a pick up and play and relax game. Um, I can't think of a game you play online now where there isn't a guy with his face smushed against the screen and who is playing, I don't know, just chilling out. Like everyone now is so highly competitive. It's nuts. Yeah, and that is also very true. Good point by Pete. They're using it as advertising space. They're using it as advertising space. It's turned into like football. So if you watch football now, every single half time you're guaranteed a betting ad. You know what I mean? It takes the actual fun and enjoyment out of the game, where people who are just getting into it can't enjoy it, and it's completely away from that actual game itself now. Again, right, that is perfect example is Team Fortress 2. What P Dog has just said. Team Fortress 2 is literally a game where you pick up, you join the game, and you play. It's fun. Don't get me wrong, you're killing each other and stuff like that, but it's not about the winning. For instance, it's not about the winning of the game. It's about the enjoyment of actually playing with friends and doing crazy stuff and actually enjoying the game itself. It's this is why Gears of War back in the day when I played was such a breath of fresh air. Gears of War got to a point where we were playing our own custom games and we had kind of our own ranking system of how good clans were, clans, and we like and how like and how good we all were together. Instead of having like a league or money behind it, it was just for the enjoyment and the competitive nature of it. But without the money behind it, it seems like the more money that gets pumped into something, the less it becomes for the people. If you get me. Exactly. So the gameplay wasn't about having like an amazing balanced game. It wasn't about like, oh, there's a tier list of all the best guns to use, the best attachments to put on your guns, and you didn't have to learn every nook and cranny of every map. It was about actually enjoying the game. And we're so far from that now, where it's hard to get into a new space. This is why probably I've played Street Fighter now for so long, and I'm no good at Rainbow Six because obviously I'm not in the space all the time. It seems like you need to be like 100% into a game now to be able to remotely be decent at it. You can't just pick up, play, have a bit of fun, put it down, and still be good. It's crazy. Oh, a critical hit game frustrates me. The fact that you could do so well, someone hits you with one random critical hit for it's down to RNG at the end of the day, um, and you can die, and it's gone wild. It's gone wild. There's so much money involved in it now as well. Where how people can play FIFA and be competitive, how FIFA has become is so weird now. It's become so competitive in the online space where now it's all about how much money can you spend and to be the best at the game. It's all about how deep your pockets are to be good at the game. See, the fighting game community though, Pete, it's a bit different. I think because we've grown so small, we've started off so small and grew to this way, we're always going to have a competitive nature, but we're always going to be there to help each other. If you watch the best players in the world of fighting games, especially Street Fighter, you'll notice that people will people will always be there to help each other to get better, even though they're playing against each other. Yet there'll always be shit talk and there'll always be people going at each other. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be people trying to help each other get better. And this is why the fighting game community is top tier. We've been from the grassroots, we've got the money in, but we haven't changed. This is why we're always going to be the best. If you look at the likes of the Call of Duty community, it's so out of touch. Call of Duty community. Fortnite now is it's like it's so out of touch. It's it's crazy. It's gone absolutely bonkers because I think fighting games as well. It's always going to be the same where you can spend as much money as you want. You can spend it's never you can spend as much money as you want on cosmetics for your character. It's never gonna make you better at the game. It's always down to you and your skill level why you're gonna be good at that game. It's never gonna be how much money have you spent to get these extra things on top to make you better. And that's why the FGC is goated in my opinion. That's why it's goated. Good podcast so far, guy. Good podcast. Good podcast. This is a great podcast. I can throw this away now. Don't need that. So what I did, Pete, I wrote stuff down on my son's Amazon Fire tablet what I wanted to talk about. And then I've got myself here as well where I can read the chat pretty nice and clear if you like the setup. You know what I'm saying? It's so ghetto. So ghetto. But I've got the mic. We're flying. But what I'm doing at the minute, I've mentioned this little bit this before. I'm grinding my ass off. Mate, oh, look at this. Watch this. Ready? What's this? Whoa. Whoa. Dun dun dun. um. So yeah, we're. It's like I'm loving doing this, and I thought this would be a good way as well to get some stuff off my chest and talk about certain things, and not just play games all the time and stuff like that. I've spoke about certain things I wanted to talk about, and if I wanted to watch a video or whatever, I can bang it on the screen, old school style. It feels like you're in my living room. Yeah, everything's exactly the same thing. I've talked a little bit about the SF6 grind, a little bit about it, but uh, it's hard. It's crazy to talk about. It's crazy to talk about because I explained a little bit about it where I was talking about when I first started playing Street Fighter, especially 4, 3, and 2. I've never really been great. I've never really been good at a Street Fighter game, but I think at the minute I've got to a point where I'm playing probably at my grand old age the best Street Fighter I've played in a hell of a long time. It's come to a point where um we definitely need to get some games in. I'm curious to see how I get on against some of your wicked ways. But I'm playing some of the best Street Fighter I've played in a while. Like I ran through Diamond 5 so quick. It's crazy. I ran through Diamond 5 so quick. Obviously I beat that master rank player and flew up loads of points. But mate, I don't. Right, you get practicing then. You get practicing. Get some games in. I want to see a stream from you as well. A nice Geordie stream, and we'll get going. Your peak hasn't been hit yet. Right, I'm going about to go David Goggins on you. You have the ability. You have the passion. You have the skill. You can become a step above where you are now. For instance, you're in a group of players now where you're the best of everyone else besides like the top three. You know what I'm saying? Besides like Sully, the Aris guy, and I think there's one more, I forgot his name. But the Scottish FCC has like a really good like trio of players, and then there's you. You are incredibly close to breaking into that. All it takes is a couple of thanks, coach. Thank you, brother. It only takes a couple of games where, like you say, if you beat Sully, imagine if one day you're in a tournament and you beat Sully to in like a semi-finals and got yourself into grand finals. It only takes one breakthrough game, and then you're there. You're so close. All it takes is a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It only takes. This is the difference between winning one game and losing one game could be everything. Even if you had like a best out of three, and it was an incredibly close set, and it went down to the last round, and you were close, but you didn't quite get it. You know, then next time you jump into a game with him, it can go either way. So your confidence will be high. So, you know, the spirit will never be broken. We will stand strong. Man, it's we're in a good space right now, especially especially the FGC. I spoke a little bit about Tekken before, and I spoke a bit about Street Fighter before. Of course, I'll be grinding more with Honda, my friend. Of course, I will. I'm still gonna keep on playing. I've always said I don't care about my points in the sense of I just want to play the best players. All I want to do is play the best players. And I think that now I'm up there with Honda and Master Rank, I'm gonna hit the best players, and that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna take me time. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna duck anybody. I'm not gonna avoid playing Master Rank because I'm getting beat. I don't care what my ranking is. I really don't. I just want to play the best players and experience what it's like being up in that upper echelon. This is what I'm saying. I mentioned this before. I've always been, if we're looking at Street Fighter 4 rankings, I've always been around a B plus player. I've always been like around B plus. You know what I mean? B plus. I've always been like middle of the pack. I've never really been in the upper echelon, so I've never really got to experience Street Fighter at the highest level. And I think now I've hit this master rank, I think now I get to experience Street Fighter at the highest level, and I can't wait. I'm actually really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be such an experience to play against like players who have dedicated thousands of hours or hundreds of hours into the game, and who have really dedicated themselves to learn the game. And this is why I'm really excited, because you're right, it's the best version of it. Now, how well I'll do is a different story. But as you know, with me, I can be knocked down a lot, and my confidence can be killed. But I'll always come back, and I'll keep trying, and I'll keep trying, and I'll keep trying. And as you've seen in this game, I've been knocked down a few times. I've got back up a lot as well, but I've grinded my balls off in this game, and I'm happy. I'm really happy with what I've done. When it comes to the other characters I play as well, so we like to meet Geef, the Blanca, and stuff like that. I will be playing more rank sets with them, because I'd love to get them to master as well one day. But for now, it's gonna be a lot of my boy Edmund. It's funny as well, because I was gonna drop him. I was gonna drop Honda altogether and just concentrate on Geef. But I think like the big fat guy pulled me back in. He's like my spirit animal. I think Street Fighter 6 is up there with one of the greatest fighting games ever created. And that's like, and that's my legit thoughts on Street Fighter 6. I think it's one of the greatest fighting games ever created, in the sense of the character balance, the gameplay, the feel, the progression. I think that there's so much satisfaction in this game, where even when you're losing and you're not doing well, you still feel like you're learning. I think that's brilliant. I think that they've kind of bridged the gap between, as well, getting new players in and involved and getting to know the game, and the highly competitive who are already good at Street Fighter knowing the game. And I think that there's something for everyone, which is brilliant. And that is half the battle of keeping the player base big in this game, is making sure new players can jump in and play, and then making sure the people who are the OGs can be as competitive as they want. And Chris can play Modern Marissa and just level 3 me till I die. And Street Fighter 5, their heart was in the right place when they did it. It really was in the right place when they did it. But their execution was so bad. Their execution was so bad, where the game was just all over the show. There was no balance. There was no balance in Street Fighter 5, where, you know, it seems so like you could be the best in, you could know everything you needed to know in the first 25 minutes of a training mode session. If you learned combos in the first 25 minutes and then learned matchup in the next 25, you could literally play that game forever and be the same skill level but do really well. And there was no, the ceiling was so low. It was such a poor game. I didn't play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, so I can't really talk about that. I played a little of Ultimate Marvel. Ultimate Marvel was a little bit different, I feel. I feel Ultimate Marvel was so competitive because of Marvel 2 and Marvel 3. Ultimate Marvel um, was a different breed. I think that everyone was so competitive on that game where people just wanted to win, so you got the same characters every time. You know what I mean? You got the Morgan teams and shit like that. Mate, and Street Fighter Five did kill my love for Street Fighter. I can't lie. Um, I stopped playing fighting games altogether and just got stuck into some single player games, and I lost my love for the FGC altogether for a long space of time. You know what I mean? And I was in that scene for so long with Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 2, Capcom versus SNK. I was in that scene for so long. And it's mad how one game can kick you out of it. But I think Street Fighter 6 has brought fighting games back itself. It's brought fighting games back. You know what I mean? And I think the shelf life of this game is going to be so long. You've got so much they can do with it. You've got so many characters they can bring back. You've got so many ways they can take the game backwards and forwards. It's gonna be so interesting where the game is in 2 years' time. What I hope doesn't happen. What I hope doesn't happen is the game gets cornered again by the best players in the world, in the sense of they make the balance changes. They basically dictate how the game's going to go. That's exactly what I don't want to happen. Because when that happens, players like us are the ones who suffer, and then the game gets kind of funneled into a certain way, and that can't happen with this game, or it'll die like Street Fighter Five died. It was such a game based for professionals because the game was so bad. They had to cater for the people who were playing it the most, and that was the pros. So I'm hoping it doesn't go down that route again. But I can't wait to see where we are in the next 2 or 3 years. All I know is I'm going to continue to play as long as they continue to make the game brilliant. So, in regards to other games that I'm interested in playing, and I do want, I did play Heavy Rain live on stream about a week ago, or about a few days ago, and it nearly got me banned off TikTok and Twitch, so I can't play Heavy Rain on thingy because of the ass scene. Nearly got me fucking whole account scrapped, which is not good for business. And yeah, I'm looking to play another game as well because obviously I love playing Rainbow Six, but that's just simply because I enjoy it because how bad I am, and I can cliff farm. I can cliff farm with Rainbow Six. I can cry, I can moan, I can complain, and it's all fun and games. Obviously, Street Fighter, I can play that till forever. But I want to pick up another game which I'm looking into doing. I'm thinking about a long form RPG style game, or I'm thinking something else which would be fun. But yeah, we're on the right lines. And yeah, this has been a laugh. This doing this actually. Wasn't expecting it to go so well. Um, Hopefully I sound nice and clear with the old microphone. Um, you know, I bought this for a whole £17. I got two of them, so maybe in the future I can do like a double podcast with somebody. Um, yeah, it's looking bright. You know what I mean? It's looking good. Maybe that's a really good idea. Fallout could be a shout. A little play through the Fallout games, 3 Vegas and 4, and then skip 76, and yeah, there's a lot of things coming up that I'm looking forward to do. Oh mate, an IRL podcast with the mics on and the camera set up and that. Oh yeah, that's the dream. That'll be amazing. Um, Imagine like going around like the tourney what you go into, like interviewing players and stuff. Elite level content right there. But now we're flying. The grind's going to continue. I want to try and stream at least 6 days a week. Quest to be the best in real life. That would be elite levels again. That'd be superb. I used to, as long as you're still playing on PlayStation, we could do that. If you come here or anything, we can do that. Mate, Sully's getting interviews with David Beckham, mate. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, this is probably going to be the end of the podcast for now. I've really enjoyed it. Pete joined in and give me a leash of life and give me stuff to talk about, which is amazing. As I said, I'm still going to stream at least 6 days a week. I'm going to be trying my best to entertain and try my best to at least get on at least play a couple of hours a night, or play play as much as I can. And yeah, it's all fun and games. All I can say is thanks for, if you did watch this little podcast, or if you did watch this video, whatever you want to call it, mate, the next stream is going to be me playing in Master Rank, mate. It's got to be. I can't be jumping back down to Platinum now. I've got to be in Master Rank playing. That's where I want to be right now. I want to be in and amongst it and try and see how we go. It's got to be. It has to be. I can't do that thing where I'm like, oh, shying away because I'm scared of playing the great players, Pete, you're the man, as always. And yeah, I will be on tomorrow with some Street Fighter streams. We talked about a few things tonight. We talked about streaming versus YouTube. We talked about the multiverse that's going on right now. We talked about Kick. We talked about Twitch. We talked about Street Fighter, my main topic of choice. We talked about how the state of gaming and where we are, and the way YouTubers are disrespecting gaming as a whole. You've missed the first, say 40 minutes of it, maybe, Pete, or the first 20 minutes of it, where I was talking about all that. So maybe you can watch back and give us your thoughts in the comments of what you thought about that, because it's quite an interesting couple of topics that I talked about anyway. Yeah, the future's bright. The future's orange. Jesus Christ. Oh. But yeah, it's I need to spread the good word. I need to keep grinding, using socials, get the name out there. All I want to do is entertain, Pete. You know what I'm like. I've always done it. I've done it for a solid, nearly 12. I've done this since 2008 on YouTube, playing Gears of War, making montages and clips and stuff like that. And now it's 2024. I'm a lot older, a lot wiser, and I've seen where we are old men. We are officially old men. We've seen the internet change so much to what it is now. It's insane, and we are now like veterans of a community that we basically created, which I think's crazy. We if it wasn't for the likes of us, I call us pioneers of the internet. That we are the pioneers. We were in that era of where the internet was brand new and uploading videos was all new, and it was so difficult just to edit a video. We built the roads so these kids can drive. Do you get me? This what it feels like to me. We made the landscape what it is today, and I think we need our roses. You know what I'm saying? That's getting clipped. Oh, brilliant. Anyway, thanks for watching, Pete. You're the only one that's been in, but thanks for watching. If you watch this video on YouTube, thank you very much. Please subscribe and get ready for the next one. If you're passing on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. And if you are on TikTok, follow me on TikTok also. Peace out, gang. See you soon.